General thoughts on the first day of the day?
Like most first days, I thought we came out, great spirit. Always first day, that better be the case. A lot of details that we'll certainly work on ironing out over the next few weeks. But a lot of mistakes, a ton of mistakes, which is great this time of year. But a lot of guys making plays. We had a bunch of plays on the ball on both sides of the ball downfield, which was good to see. And then up front is always a little, bit of a mishmash these first couple days. But Telly and Tui, seeing those guys for the first time, just move around is encouraging. And then when we kind of get closer to reality, we'll evaluate them a little bit more. But overall, not by any means satisfied, but pleased so far.
When will we put past?
On Friday, we'll be in pads.
Mark, Thomas Steiner was here just a few minutes ago. He said he was up to 220. Looked like he was noticeably bigger. He's going to get his part this year. What's going on?
No. I think that's the case with a lot of guys. And Thomas, so many of those guys, especially like tailback or quarterback, there's a little bit of confidence weight. When they kind of find their right weight for them, they can really cut it loose. Quarterback standing in the pocket or making plays on the perimeter, they just feel a little bit better. And I think that's hopefully what he's finding. But he was a guy that just got so much better as the year went on, and he's just kind of more comfortable in his own skin. Hopefully that's the case with a lot of guys. We're the biggest and fastest and strongest we've ever been, and now we have to turn that into functional football skill.
He was talking a lot about Coach Rad and that offseason. Is that what you're finding overall that they all have?
We'll find out. Yeah, that was. We tweaked a little bit of our off-season program, and to this point, it's been successful. But now we have to, you want to get through spring healthy and physical, and again, translating that weight room strength to football strength is always the key.
Helfrich talked about bringing a swagger to this defense. I know it's only one practice, but do you sense a little bit of that swagger today?
I thought the defense communicated really well today, and I think that's to me that's confidence. Of you and I looking at each other, communicating with confidence, with volume, and knowing what everybody's doing, and hopefully again that after day one will continue to be the case.
Is it weird though without having Coach Al here?
I'm sorry?
Is it weird not having Coach Al yelling in practice?
I don't know. You're so kind of dialed into doing what you're doing. I'm sure for some guys out there that haven't heard that for a while, but there's enough newness across the board, whether it's coaches, players, roles, that you just kind of you're going about your daily deal.
Eric is a one-sport guy now, not playing the basketball. Should that help him a little bit more?
It sure should. I think he was a guy about midway, obviously, when he made that decision really about midway through the term, I guess, of trying to turn everything into functional football, strength, power, all those things. Can do nothing but help him, and he did some great things today. And now again, he needs to carry that through in full pads.
Do you have specific priorities for the 15 practices?
Say that one more time.
What are your specific priorities for the 15 practices? Do you have goals?
We do have goals. We have goals kind of overall for spring, and that's the number one goal for everybody is just to be a functional football player, to play with better pad level, better hands, and there's obviously that's different by position, and then every other guy has a second goal. And then throughout practice, we'd have to sit here for a long time to delineate exactly what each practice we have, whether it's red zone or third downs, or, all those things kind of by how they come up in games. But we're going to have a hard period of every practice, a finish period of every practice that are emphases every day.
A guy win or lose a spot? He's 15.
No. I mean, we want to compete. We want to get better, and we want to play, better as a team. And those are all things you can continue to do. And we'll talk about. Really, all it is slots for fall camp. It's not, hey, Molly's number one and he's number two or whatever. We'll just get better.
The beard a new look for you?
the beard will be temporary, but yeah.
It's like a hockey game.
There you go. Yeah, playoff hockey. I'm fired up. Is that still going on?
Yep. It's just started.
Jacked.
Start. Yeah. Do you get more comfortable, Mark? I mean, you've been here a long time now. Is this
no longer anything new for you, or are you still kind of learning as you go every year?
I think you're learning as you go every year, regardless of your position. Hopefully, if you're growing, and again, like we talked about before, we have kind of some standards and mottos that we go by, and then everything else is in some way in flux, with those goals in mind, because that's how you innovate and improve, and something that we want to continue to do. But I think everybody is for your angle comfortable in what we're doing. I just need to go out and put it together on the field.
Did you make any changes / improvements this spring practice versus last year's spring practice?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Again, you try to improve every year, and part of that is just this. Sorry, this guy's a second-year player, and this guy's a third-year player, and now he's a third-year and a fourth-year player, or scheme, or things that you're changing in practice from just a period standpoint or emphasis standpoint. Those things are kind of things you're tinkering with.
Anything specific though?
Yeah.
That you're going to share now with us?
No, I mean there's things that we're just kind of putting having a different emphasis on certain things. We need to play more physical on both sides of the ball. We need to play more discipline on both sides of the ball, and we're doing some things to activate that.
Mark, did you make a spin around here? Did you spend any time?
My best side.
Did you spend any time thinking about what happens if the rules change to where we can't play as fast as we played in the past? Was that a thought for you before you closing?
Not really. I mean, I was kind of the mindset that as soon as I heard about that, I made some phone calls to people that have some influence and tried to. I didn't think it was ever. I didn't think that was ever plausible. And so no, we really didn't. If that had been the case, we would have certainly had to redo some things, because that would have greatly affected us.
Do you think that's something that will continue to be talked about, or
I don't know. I mean, from a player safety standpoint, absolutely, player safety should be talked about, and then there should be credible science behind making a rule change. But yeah, I think from the start, anytime we talk about a quote-unquote player safety rule that doesn't apply during certain points of the game, that's probably not a player safety issue.
Mark, I noticed that you had one redshirt senior transfer come in this season. Walking up the hall bus. No matter what happens,
Oh, see, I didn't know what year it was. That's bad. You caught me off. You just caught me off guard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, what
you're doing a nice job.
In basketball, there's a lot of Dana Altman brought in a lot of redshirt seniors who had a year of eligibility left. Is that something that's going to be seen in football?
Well, it certainly happened. I mean, we haven't been in that business for not really a particular reason. I mean, a guy like Russell Wilson or something like that is a Kyle Long was he was a guy that we thought we were going to get 2 years out of, but it's unique. It's a little bit harder in football than it is in basketball, although it's certainly been done. And so I think it's a case-by-case deal for sure.
Any academic casualties for spring ball, guys who can't practice because of academics?
There's a few things that we have behind the scenes that guys are working on certain things, but nothing that is a long term. More of let's make sure we're all doing the right thing.
As you mentioned, it was encouraging seeing some of those JC players get out there and kind of play today. Do you expect to see a little bit something different out of them throughout spring camp compared to some of the other first-year players coming in? Is there an accelerated process getting them used to the system?
You would hope so. Certainly from a physical standpoint, you would hope that a guy that's 2 or 3 years older, or 2 or 3 years at least physically more experienced, would look different than a 19-year-old, but that's not always the case. I think in that regard, those 3 guys did a nice job today of just when they ran around and looked like they knew what they were doing. It looked good, but they made a ton of mistakes, and that's to be expected. Absolutely to be expected this time.
A couple players leaving. Do you maybe foresee if there's another guy out there that you may want to add to the class?
That's always a possibility. Yeah, it's always a possibility. There's always a couple irons in the fire that way.
How do you gauge the kind of attitude, off-season attitude of these guys coming in today? Because 2013, some guys are saying there's a sense of complacency that maybe bubbled up. This year was one of accountability. That was kind of what how'd you describe the off-season attitude leading up to today?
off-season, the off-season was outstanding. I mean, from certainly a bigger, faster, stronger standpoint, all the things that we did in the weight room or were allowed to do with him from a conditioning standpoint was outstanding. And now, whether it's accountability or just the simple execution of things on the field, now it all has to carry over to spring ball, and then it's back on him again, in the summer. And that's the unique part of football is we get 15 times, and 15 times to raise the bar, to raise the standard, to raise the culture, and then turn it over to them. And that's the neat part about our guys is they're guys that we want to be a part of.
Marcus obviously has a pretty high standard, you said already. What does he do this offseason? Do you think kind of took him a little higher? I mean, is he a better leader? Is his arm better? Is he better conditioned? What is it about?
His offseason was awesome. As a leader, all those things you just mentioned, he improved upon. He got stronger, faster. You're hoping he's more proficient from an execution standpoint or just a knowledge standpoint, and then try to get everybody else force-fed to that level is the trick. And whether it's a second-year player or a new guy that you're trying to foresee a role for in the future, you're just pushing the heck out of him right now.
How long do you keep the beard?
I don't know. How about you? This is my gripe.